Hello guys, so in this video I will show you how you can avoid SQL injection using PDO. Okay, so in order to avoid SQL injection, let's first have a look what an SQL injection attack might look like. So for this purpose, let's take a look at a very simple database. It has one table, which is users table, and there are only two users with IDs, first name, last name, email, and password. Okay. For demonstration purposes, the password is not encrypted. It's just for demonstration purposes. And this is a very simple page that runs PHP code behind the scene to fetch the data according to URL parameter, which is user ID. So let's take a look at our code. This code right up here is used to set up connection with our database using PDO, and this particular line of code is used to fetch this parameter value, which is user ID, from the URL, and this is the code that we are running without SQL injection. Okay, so I want to fetch a user by its ID. So this is my task. I want to fetch a user from its ID. So the SQL statement for this purpose would be select all the columns from user table where ID equals whatever the ID has been provided from this get parameter. Okay, so this is a simple SQL for this purpose. And normally what people do wrong with PDO is they use this query function for SQL. Okay, so they use this PDO object that has been defined right up here, and they pass in the SQL query straight to the query function. If we run this function, for example, if I reload the page, you can see this is the SQL statement that is generated from the PHP code, and that is the result that we're getting. So looking at this, you will think there is no problem with this. Actually, it is operating, it is working fine, and it does not have any problem. As we can verify, I have passed the parameter 1, and it is showing me the user with the ID 1, which is Faraz. So that is working perfectly fine. In order to verify, let's change the URL parameter user ID to 2, and let's see what happens. As you can see, our SQL statement has been changed, and the result has also been changed. Again, it's working fine. But what if an attacker plays with your query parameter? For example, if someone adds or 1 equals 1, let's run this page. Ideally, this statement should return only one user with an ID 2, but let's see what happens. If I run this page, you can see it is returning me both users. The first user is the one with ID 1, which is Faraz, and second user is John with ID 2. So what is happening here? You can see from the SQL statement, the SQL statement has been modified like so. Select everything from the user where ID equals 2 or 1 equals 1. This is what an SQL injection looks like. So the attacker can play with your SQL statements, SQL queries, and they can perform some, they can inject some malicious code to your query. So this is very simple example for demonstration purposes, but similar attack can lead to very heavy impacts on your website or data leaks, etc. Okay, so this is the problem that we are going to solve with video. Now let's look at our solution. The solution is very simple. Okay, so first of all, instead of using PDO's query function, we will use a prepare function of video. And inside the prepare function, our SQL statement will look exactly like what we have written here. Like select star from users where ID equals. So up till now, this particular piece of string is very similar to this. In fact, it's exact the same. But here is the trick. We pass our variable like this. Instead of passing it like this, we use a colon and then the name. Okay, understood? So every parameter that we are going to pass to our SQL will be like so. It will be a column and then its name. And then in the next line, we will use, okay, by the way, this prepare function will return a statement object. And the PDO statement object has another function which is execute. Now we will execute the statement which is provided from this function. Now so we use that execute function, and the execute function is getting execute function receives a parameter which is an array of the variable. So we are passing the variable user ID and its value is fetched from here. Okay, so let me uncomment this code, and this will be a simple h2 heading, and this will this statement object has a key which is query string that will be displayed, and here is the result. We will print our result like so. Let's see what happens now. Let me save this code and go back to our browser and refresh the page. You can see, hey, this is how we are getting the results. Even though I have passed user ID equals 2 or 1 on 1, 1 equal 1, although I have passed this parameter from in the URL, but without SQL injection we are getting both users. But with SQL injection prevention technique, we are only getting the correct result. The other result has been omitted from the result. Got it? So this is a very simple solution. Instead of using the query parameter, we will use prepare function from PDO, which will return a statement, and PDO statement has an execute function which will receive the parameters. Okay, let's try once more with some changes in the query parameter. Let's type user ID equals 1. So both results are the same, no SQL injection. Let's type user ID equal to, both results are the same without SQL injection. User ID 1 or 1 equals 1. So again, with this SQL injection, we are getting the wrong results here without the injection prevention technique, and with the prevention technique we only get the correct result. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope you have liked my video. If you do so, please subscribe to my channel for more to see more videos like this. Until then, take care. Bye bye.